Hi, welcome to your lower body stretch. Today we are going to be stretching the lower body, and the goal is to just feel open in your hips and long through your low back and hamstrings. For this stretching session today, you're going to need a pillow or a folded blanket or towel or something to just cushion your knees, a block. If you don't have a block, maybe you can use your pillow or your cushion or a book, just something that's going to be a little bit firmer to help sit your hips up a little bit higher. And lastly, you're going to need a strap, something long and that's just going to help you hold your legs. It could be a stretchy band if you have a stretchy band, or like a belt. Anything like that will work really well. So let's get started. We're going to sit in a wide straddle. Your hips are reaching back to the wall behind you and your legs are going to reach out really, really long. If you're having a hard time sitting up tall or finding that your knees don't want to straighten because of tight hamstrings, you can sit up on your block or blanket to lift your sits bones up off the floor a little bit higher to help ease and lengthen the back of your legs. We're going to take our hands right in the center and we're going to do a little circle here. We're stirring the pot in our straddle. Just nice, slow, long circles here, leading with your heart. Long, tall spine. Just thinking about really reaching your head across the room. Let's go in the other direction. Big circle around. Now today, your goal is not to get into the splits. Yes, we are going to have the option to stretch in a front split, but your goal is to stretch every couple of days, right? With a little bit of consistency, we can get more flexible and feel more length and opening in our muscles, and that is the goal with stretching. Sitting up really tall, let's take our feet in together into butterfly. Soles of your feet are together, knees are open really wide, and I want you to pull your heels in towards your sits bones. We're just gonna flap our butterfly wings here. Pressing down through the outer thighs, opening up your hips, and just feeling some muscles working here to help you open up those thighs. Let's hold the knees open here, really pressing down into the ground with those outer thighs, sitting up really tall through the crown of your head. Taking your right hand, press down into that right thigh. See if it feels any deeper of a stretch. Maybe you let go and release and press a couple of times and just feel how that hip is feeling today. Let's do the other side. Pressing down into the left thigh. Maybe one hip is going to feel different than the other, but we are not trying to feel any sharp pains here, just a nice opening sensation in that hip capsule. We are focusing on static stretching today, but I want you to remember that you can always move around in any of the positions that we're in to help you feel where you are stretchy and where you are not stretchy, and to just make that connection with your mind in your body and where you are feeling that stretch. Let's release, taking our hands forward. Nice low forward fold stretch here over those butterfly legs. You're reaching the crown of your head across the room. You're not aiming to get your nose to your toes. You're thinking about reaching the crown of your head across the room. So really lengthen through your upper back. Try not to feel any rounding or tension up in your neck and shoulder area. We're really trying to find a long spine. Maybe you take a soft rock here, right? We're not trying to be still in our stretch. We are trying to feel where we're feeling that stretch, and maybe we hold where it feels really nice today. Start to roll yourself up. We're going to come down into a nice forward fold. Grab your strap. Let your legs sit out in front of you. We're gonna flex our feet, take our band around our feet, and we're gonna hold on here. If you need to take a slight bend in your knees, that is okay. I want you to sit up really, really tall, hold onto your strap, and think about pulling your heart towards your shins. You're not gonna go very far. Maybe you do, and that's cool. Maybe not. That's also okay. We're really trying to find that length in your back to help open up the main joint that you're working around here, which is your hips. So if we were to round our back, the angle between your thighs and your back doesn't really change. So you want to really think about leading with a straight back so that the angle of your back is closing over your legs. We're sending our hip bones back behind us and reaching our head up and over. Crown of your head is reaching up past the toes. Let's get a little bit deeper. Can you pull a little bit farther? Close the gap between your belly and your thighs is the goal. If you're not there, that is okay. We are aiming to get there with our consistent stretching, right? Big inhale. Can you expand your rib cage in your back? Exhale, pull a little deeper. One more time. Big inhale. Really open up between every rib. Exhale, sink a little deeper. And with that, we're going to start to round our back over our legs. Thinking about crown of our head reaching towards our toes. Not nose to knee, but head past your toes. Just breathing here. Can you relax? Are you gripping your quads? Let go. Let your legs just relax and be in the stretch. Sometimes we grip our muscles to try and protect our bodies from feeling that stretch, that sensation that we get when we lengthen the muscles. So if we can let go and let our minds know it's okay to feel that sensation, we can start to open up a little bit deeper. Slowly release. Sitting all the way up, you're going to hang onto your strap. Make your way down onto your back. Feet are flat on the mat, knees are bent. You're going to take your band and place it around one leg. Flexing your foot, holding onto the strap, and just getting a feel for where you have that nice straight leg. Maybe your leg is down here. That's okay. Let's find really good alignment so that we can stretch through our nice posture. So our hips are level. If you're finding that your lifted leg hip is higher than your other hip, I want you to shift it down. So we have a nice straight line between hip bones here. You're opening your chest, feeling your belly pulled down deeper into the floor. Tailbone is heavy into the mat. And we're gonna start to pull the leg in closer. Wherever your leg stops, where you start to feel that really deep stretch sensation, that's where I want you to stay for a few breaths. You're feeling relaxed in your shoulders and your chest. You're maintaining that hip level with your opposite hip, right? Nice and straight line here. Breathing. Let's pull in a little bit closer. Continuing to keep that hip long on the mat. Grabbing onto each side of your band in each hand, we're going to bend the knee and press through. So we're going to actively use our muscles to help us lengthen through the back of our leg. We're going to pull the knee in, press through the heel. One more time, pull it in, press through, and hold it right here. Big inhale, release your leg a little bit lower. Exhale, pull it in a little bit deeper. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull it in. We're going to continue that breath pattern here. And while you're working to stretch through your breath, I want you to play around with your foot position. Can you angle the top of your foot to feel a different stretch through your hamstring, through your calf, through your foot muscles, anywhere where you can feel a slight difference. It is okay to feel that stretching sensation. Let your brain know to find comfort in that discomfort. One more time, exhale, pull it in, and we're gonna hold it right here. Relax your hips, relax your core, relax your shoulders. Breathing, holding right here. Can you get a little bit closer? You can stay here, or if you'd like a deeper stretch, extend your bottom leg straight into the mat. Watch your hip alignment, right? Don't let this hip hike up towards your shoulder. Keep it reaching away from the shoulder. You are pressing your bottom leg into the floor and thinking about reaching that top leg up and over. You're going to grab onto the strap with your same side hand. Opposite hand's going to come out to the side. Open your leg. You want to maintain even pressure through both hips into the mat. So if you're finding your opposite hip is rolling with you, you want to lift your leg up a little bit more and keep that hip pulling down into the mat. Wherever your leg is, can you pull it in a little bit closer towards your shoulders? Maybe you have a slight bend in your leg here, that's okay. Start to release and bring it back up to the top. You're going to switch the strap into your other hand. Keep this hip sinking deep into the floor, and you're going to pull it across just a couple of inches. You're keeping your leg really straight here. Your goal is to get your big toe over your opposite shoulder. So it's a really small cross. This hip does not lift up off the floor. If anything, it's sinking deeper into the mat, and you're thinking about lengthening your heel up and away and letting your foot fall a couple inches over towards your opposite side. You're gonna feel this whole outer part of your leg start to open. Shoulders are relaxed. Just hold here for a little bit longer, a couple more breaths. The whole thing with stretching is to just take time and sit in the stretches. A lot of the time we rush through, but really you'll find a lot of benefit if you only have time to do one stretch and just really get into it, instead of trying to get through 5 stretches in the same amount of time. Let's bring it back center. Slowly release the band off of your leg, give it a big hug in, pull the knee in towards your chest, and release it down. Let's go to the other side. Band goes around the bottom of your foot. Let's set up our alignment here. Your stretching leg, your hip is going to send away from your shoulder so that our hips are nice and level with each other right here. Your shoulders are relaxed. You're going to start to pull your leg in, finding that length through the heel. Again, playing around with your angle of your ankle and your foot to see where you feel a nice stretch. Maybe you do some ankle circles here. That is always good. Pulling the leg in. Taking one strap in each hand, we're going to bend the knee and press through the heel. Pull the knee in, press through the bottom of your foot. One more time, pull and press. Big inhale, start to lengthen your leg away. Exhale, pull it in a little deeper. Inhale, stretch away. Exhale, pull. Keep sinking your hip down into the mat. Reach away and pull. One more time, reach. Pull it in, holding it right here. If you want a deeper stretch, you're going to extend that bottom leg straight onto the floor and really press through that foot through the band. Pull in a little bit closer. Can you lengthen through the leg here? Trying not to grip into the quad, just finding length through the back of your leg, really sending energy right up towards the ceiling. Gripping the band with the same hand as your leg, we're going to open out to the side, keeping both hips pressing deeper into the mat. Trying not to grip your quad, let go, let your legs stretch, and then pull in a little bit closer to the shoulders, breathing right here. Slowly bring it back to center. Gripping with your opposite hand, sink your hip deep into the mat. Start to pull the leg across just a couple of inches. Keep that hip on the floor. Both hips are pulling back into your mat. You're lengthening through your heel, feeling that outer thigh really stretch long across your leg. Breathing right here. Letting everything settle, letting your muscles remember that they can stretch. Slowly bring it back center. We're going to hold here for another second. Just let the leg pull in, holding right here. Find that length through the back of your leg. Take a big inhale. Exhale, pull it in a little closer. One more time, big breath in. Exhale. Slowly release your leg from the band. Give your knee a big hug in. And release. You can let go of your strap. We're gonna bring ourselves up to a seated position and find kneeling. You can put your strap away. We're gonna take our block and our cushion, blanket, towel, whatever you have, and get those into action here. Your block can stay right up at the top of your mat. You're gonna take one foot front. The other foot's gonna stay back there, and I'm gonna cushion my knee with my pillow here. All right, we're gonna stay nice and tall, and I want you to press your hip flexor forward. In your front leg, your knee is not going past your ankle. I want you to keep everything really stacked here and focus on just sending that back hip flexor straight ahead, squeezing this glute. You're almost pressing your back leg back towards the wall behind you to really feel the front of the leg opening up here. Shoulders are relaxed. We're just going to hang out here for a second. If you're not feeling any stretch here, maybe you have really open hip flexors. If you're looking for a little bit deeper of a stretch, you can tuck your toe up underneath. Shorten the angle between your calf and your hamstring and continue to press that hip forward. Breathing right here. Bringing your hands down to the mat. We're going to find pigeon. If you would like extra cushion underneath your hips for pigeon, you can take your block underneath your front hip. Your front leg is gonna rotate in towards your center, adjusting your cushion underneath your knee and finding your pigeon here. We're gonna sit up tall, so I want you to take your free hand, place it on your front leg. Try to find that squared off leg here. Wherever that is for you, flex your foot, take your hand into that inside part of your foot, and just hold here. Squaring your back hip down to the mat, finding that openness. If this is feeling really tight today, maybe you're up higher on a couple of blocks. Maybe your foot isn't extended as far, that is okay. Go to where you are going to start to feel some opening, and it's always better to start smaller, and as you feel more comfortable in each position, to start to push the limit a little bit. So really wrap that back hip down, adjusting your props as needed. Breathing right here. Reaching tall through the crown of your head, relaxing your shoulders. We're going to start to fold our way down here. So you can take your hand off of your foot, start to lower your chest down, and find that stretch through the outer thigh and the hip in that front leg and the hip flexor in your back leg. Maybe you're not folding over super far today, that's okay. Maybe your foot is coming back in closer towards your hips, that is also okay. Find where you want to open up today. Every day is going to be different. Maybe one day you try something different, and another day you feel like however you're sitting is the way that you're going to stretch today, and that is okay. Variety is always best. So when you are stretching, it is okay to move and feel where something is going to get you a little bit deeper, right? So why don't we try that? Just try rocking back and forth, either through your upper body, through your hips, where you're going to find something a little bit deeper, a little bit different, and maybe you hold that position today. Breathing. One more big breath here. Exhale. Start to walk yourself up. Pull your heel in. Release the block out from underneath your hip. We're going to step back up into that lunge here. Foot flat on the mat. Both hands are inside your thigh. And we're going to let that back leg stretch a little bit deeper. In our front leg, our knee is staying over our heel. You're squeezing that front thigh in towards your shoulders, right? So really pull this knee in, keep it really close to your shoulder. Lengthen your back leg a little bit longer. If you're looking for a deeper stretch, you have a couple of options. You can come down onto your forearms. Maybe you take your block and come onto your forearms to get a little bit deeper. Or if you like staying here, I want you to press into the top of your back foot. See if you can lengthen your back leg a little bit deeper. That's going to lengthen that hip flexor, find more space to stretch that back leg. Let's do that a couple of times. Pressing into the top of your back foot, hold and release. Press into that back leg and release. It's not going to look like very much, but it's going to intensify. Last time, press into the top of your back leg, hold it. And release. We're going to shift our hips back towards our back heel and find our half split. We are getting ready to go into our split optional stretch. This is your half split right here. If you'd like to continue to stay here and stretch, go ahead. We are all going to hang out here for a little bit to open up the back of the hamstring on your front leg a little bit more. Play around with your foot. Can you turn your big toe in? Can you angle it away? Can you point your toe? Feel where you are feeling a different sensation today and see if you can hold it. Foot position is so important when we stretch because all of our muscles are connected through bones and tendons and ligaments and other muscles and fascia. And when we stretch one muscle, we are pulling on another muscle. It's a chain reaction. So we want to make sure we are getting our foot to stretch as well because all the muscles in our legs start in our feet, essentially, through that chain reaction, right? Let's flex our front foot. We're going to sit our hip back. So really lengthen your hip back to the wall behind you. and then round your tailbone forward. Flatten your back, sit your hips behind you, round your tailbone forward. This time we're gonna hold it. Flatten your back, hold. Pull your shoulders away from your head. You can continue here in half split, or if you'd like to come into full split, you can grab your block if you'd like to place it underneath your hip. We're gonna start to slide out. Find that split. Maybe you're using a block to help you hold yourself up. Point both of your toes wherever you are in your split or in your half split. Reach your front leg long, reach your back leg long. Can you sit up nice and tall? Square your hips down to the mat. Big inhale. Exhale. One more breath here. Big inhale. Exhale. Start to unwind yourself. Roll onto your front hip. Bring your legs back in center. We're going to go onto the other side. So let's set ourselves up. Other leg is going to come forward. Pillow or cushion or blanket goes behind your back thigh. And we're going to start sitting up really, really tall. We are sending our hips forward. Knee is stacked over our heel in a nice 90-degree angle, and we're really focusing on squeezing that back glute forward and lengthening the front of that hip flexor, sitting up really tall. If you're looking for a little bit deeper here, tuck your back toe under, shorten the angle between your calf and your hamstring, and continue to press the hip forward. Squeeze that back glute. That's going to help you really tuck under and lengthen the hip flexor connection. Just holding here. Maybe you're finding a couple of different angles. That's going to help you feel different things in that hip flexor. Maybe you're holding. Wherever you are, try not to flare your ribs. Right, so we're trying not to be open in our belly here. We're really sitting up really tall, keeping a tall pull through the crown of your head down through that knee on the floor. Moving our hands down into the mat, we're going to find our pigeon. So lengthening, adjusting your cushions as you need to, setting your block under your hip as needed. Front leg crosses under, and you're going to find that squared off 90-degree-ish angle on the front leg. Free hand plants into the inside of that foot, and you're sitting up nice and tall here. Finding the squaring off of your back hip down into the mat. Reaching tall through the crown of your head, trying to be as tall as you can. Relaxing your shoulders. Finding that openness in your front thigh. Once you've found a really nice position, we're going to start to lower down. Rolling through, folding the chest down. Maybe you don't come down, maybe you stay lifted, maybe your heel comes back in towards your hips, that is okay. Maybe you lose your block, maybe you add a block. Adjust yourself to find that position that you're gonna say, I'm sitting here today, and this is how we are going to feel. Crown of your head reaches. Feeling that opening sensation in your front legs, hip capsule. Relaxing your neck and your shoulders. Breathing. Sitting a little bit deeper here. One side is going to feel different than the other on most people. And that is okay, as long as we recognize where our imbalances and differences are, we can focus on them and work to correct any imbalances we have. Because we want both sides to be evenly mobile, and working functionally. Starting to sit up, we're going to place our foot back in that lunge position. However you need to get there, take your time. Just getting the block out of the way here. Hands are going to come to the inside of that front leg, pulling that knee tight into your elbow, reaching tall through the crown of the head. If you are looking for a deeper stretch here, come onto your forearms. Use your block under your forearms, adjust as you need to. Press your shoulders away from your ears. And as you're ready, we're going to press into the top of that back leg, extend the hip flexor down to the floor, and release. Press into the top of your foot, straighten your back leg a little bit more, and release. One more time, press and hold. Lengthen your hip flexor to the cushion on the mat, reach into the top of your foot, and release. Sending our hips back into half split. Reaching your hips back behind you, playing around with our front foot here a little bit, working through flex and point, rocking the toe side to side, feeling the inside of the ankle stretch and the outside of the ankle stretch. Holding where you feel like you want to stretch today. Let's find that flexed foot position here. Let's round our tailbone under, lift our belly away from our thigh, and then send our hips back, flatten your back, send your belly towards your thigh. Do it again. Round, belly away, flatten, belly towards the leg. One more time. Round away, flatten towards, holding right here. Trying to think about sending that lengthened leg hip back and reaching the heel forward. Almost like you're trying to drag that heel back towards the cushion under your knee. We're going to make our way into our optional full front split. You can stay here and continue to work through, or find halfway down into that split or all the way into that split, wherever you are. Let's go. Point the front toe. Start to slide yourself out, using your block for support to lift you up if you need it. Pointing the toes, open the chest, lift your head tall, and try to wrap that back hip down underneath you, squaring your hips off onto the floor. Breathing and holding right here. Big inhale. Exhale. One more time. Big inhale. Exhale. Start to release your split here, rolling onto one hip, bending your back knee forward, releasing your cushion. Let's sit up really tall. Take our hands behind our back. Take our feet hip width or wider, and we're just gonna find a little windshield wiper action here. My hips are popping. Maybe yours are too. We are coming to the end of our stretch here. I hope you are feeling nice and lengthened, feeling a little bit more open, feeling your low back a little bit more released. Stretching our hamstrings is a great way to relieve low back strain. So let's do one more. Reach and reach. And sitting up really tall. Thank you for stretching it out with me today. I hope you enjoyed the stretch. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below, or any suggestions. I'd be happy to include them in the next one. See ya. Bye.